Okay, a challenge everyone's going to deal with is that not every paper in your File Explorer that you come across is going to have DOIs and be part of a formal peer-reviewed article journal and be published. And so one key question I was asking is how to handle gray literature, and in particular, really gray literature. We're going to cover here working papers, but all of this also works with white papers, consulting reports, etc. I'm going to jump into a new library. One thing I'll mention is that even reputable search engines like Google Scholar turn up gray literature in some cases, so this is relevant there. But what I'll show is importing a couple working paper, DOI, one that does not, and we'll see how they run. You can, as always, I'll mention on every video, use the agent to ask questions about this if you want, or understand better how to do it in the product. However, I'm going to select import papers, and I'm going to pull out two examples. First example, no DOI. Second example is a DOI. This came from a university website. Second one, Social Science Research Network. And as we'll see, sometimes these take a little bit longer to go through the enrichment process. While that's happening, maybe I'll just go ahead and name my library. And we've got our documents here. We've got our summaries. We've got, you'll see on the back end, abstract, authors. Now we continue to go through this enrichment process. DOI has been found for one of these. And as we'll get into, DOI will not be found for this one. And yet, even with no DOI, even both of these not being entries in Crossref or OpenAlex, we're able to populate all of the metadata still. And if we jump into these, we'll see the full abstracts are there as well. I should also mention, you can also add additional enrichment fields. So you can use custom enrichments. You can add maybe the main findings associated with each paper, and we'll see AI-generated outputs. Won't always be there. Sometimes it'll be not provided, but in this case, we've got both of them. The way in which this happens, in case you're curious, is we have what's called a waterfall system. We check for DOIs, and if we find those DOIs, then we check a couple different data sources for abstracts and authors, etc. One of them is we're checking Crossref. If the data is not in Crossref, we'll check Semantic Scholar. If it's not there, we'll check OpenAlex. And then finally, we'll just fall over to a Claude agent. And a Claude agent will actually go out and find this information. That's why, even if you submit a McKinsey white paper, that obviously is not part of any formal academic journal, we can actually, our models will go out and find the information in that journal. And your journal name will be something like McKinsey, whatever working paper series. So really great way to handle gray literature and make sure you've got excellent citation data, even for articles that are not peer reviewed.